So next thing, cancer is not a mystery. And I guess that's how we've been blinded. You know, we put a lot of faith in science, in doctors, in professors, in research, which unfortunately have a lot of vested interests. So I don't want to head too far this way tonight. But in essence, the cancer societies, the ones that are organising Daffodil Days and
Genes for
Genes and Red, all these things, they're the richest societies on the planet, okay? And so way back, when was it, when one of the presidents said, we need $1 billion and we'll lick this cancer thing. Mm-hmm. And that was like $30 billion a year, every year ago. And so we're throwing a lot of money at this, but it isn't resulting in solutions. The mystery of cancer, and this is not mine. I've been to Don Tolman before, seen Don Tolman's work, okay? So you laugh along as if you haven't. The rest of the people, I'll do a good job, mainly on this side of the room. You think about someone's lifestyle, you know, a normal person. They're born into the world as they are. Pregnancy and birth is looked at like a disease. Does that make sense? You've got to go and get your scans. And what we don't realise is those scans are having a detrimental effect. There's, you know, electromagnetic activity and rays going into the baby. And we look at it on the screen and go, oh, look at it, it's moving. It's doing that because it's trying to get away from those rays. And then we go into hospital, and then instead of being born into a natural process where there's not a lot of stress and emotion to it, we're surrounded by clinical things that's usually done on the doctor's time. 80% of births now are by cesarean or some kind of physical, so forceps, suction cap, that kind of thing. And then some people, one of the big questions last night is, but what about the babies? What about the children that are getting cancer? And you think about the womb, it's the waste basket for the mother. So everything that that mother has done throughout their lifespan has accumulated. And so as soon as we're born, if we haven't prepared properly, then the baby has that impact. We're not going to get into vaccinations, but think about this. We're putting something that's highly toxic into the baby. The goal of vaccination, I thought, was to increase the immune system, but our immunity should start from the outside in. So if you inject something straight past the skin, straight into the bloodstream, you miss a lot of those initial defenses. So again, we have this accumulation of toxins. We go through life, we start to have our daily recommended intake of our dairy and our meat. And a lot of these things were advised by corporations who have a vested interest in that. So it's not necessarily done from a point of view of health. We're exposed to all sorts of toxins, which we're going to go through later in this. But we arrive at a place where toxins are starting to accumulate in our body. And our body has this innate ability to deal with those and get them out. Does that make sense? What are some of the ways it can do that? Sweat. You'll sweat. Is that very convenient? No. So what do a lot of people do? Antiperspirants. Okay? All sorts of deodorants on the body. Literally pushes it back into the cells. How else can the body get rid of toxins?
Urine.
Sorry? Urine, absolutely. So what's a good way to help expel the urine? Drink lots of water. Most people don't. And so there again, it's like we never flush the toilet. We keep going to the toilet, putting things in, it never gets flushed, the toxins stay in. How else do we get rid of things?
Liver.
Through the liver, absolutely. We have amazing filtration systems. The challenge with it is every time we had some kind of cough, and why would we cough? It's another way of getting things out. So the body will bundle things up into the lungs, and then we produce mucus. And then the body exhales it out the front door. But that's a symptom, isn't it? And so in our modern society, we're taught the symptoms are good or bad. Bad, we want to treat the symptom, and so we take some kind of anti-cough mixture. And so all those toxins get pushed back down into our cells. A little bit more time goes on, a few weeks, few months. Next thing we wake up, bad case of the runs. Diarrhea, chronic. Is that very convenient? No. So what do? Take something. Take a gastro. Some people even know the brand, their preferred choice. Okay? And so they take it, clogs everything up from the back end. We spoke about sweating. If you're not sweating well, then what starts to happen? We get skin conditions. We might get eczema or psoriasis, or our skin's the biggest organ, right? And so we're trying to get these toxins out of the skin. What do? We go to the chemist and they go, yep, great, take this cream. We put in this steroid cream onto our skin and it pushes all those toxins right back in. And so where our body is exhausting all of these options, we'll run a fever. You know, we'll literally, our body knows that a lot of these toxins or bacteria or whatever you will, they're thermophilic, so they live in a very narrow temperature band. And so the body will do a temperature, it'll do a fever to literally cook the things so that they can get out. We'll sweat. What do we usually do? What are we taught about fevers? Got to take them down. What's the drug of choice? Panadol, and there's baby Panadol. Very safe, soft, gentle on the digestive system. I've seen the ads. I've seen it was very convincing. Not. So we go through a lifestyle. By the time we're even a teen, we've had all this stuff go on. How many times? The really scary thing at the moment is the next generation coming through. I don't think I've seen a sicker group of people than kids at the moment. They're just so prone to all these things because their immune system is so depleted. And so what is our body's natural solution to that? Sick. You're sick. But really you're going to show abundant health. So the body's natural solution is to form a rubbish bin. Okay? And so it'll say, well, we can't keep these toxins float around our body. You know, it's detrimental. We've got to get it away from our vital parts. And so it'll literally form this garbage can. And so all those toxins will start to be stored in there. And so we wake up one day and we're washing ourselves or whatever and we feel a lump, a tumour. What are we taught about tumours? Good, bad, or just ugly? Sends fear through you because you've been taught that tumours are bad. And so you go off to the doctors and what do they say? Let's do a test. They'll do a biopsy, they'll put a big needle in there, open the garbage bag up so it gets all those toxic cells down into the good cells now. Sends off to the lab, published in their own medical journals. The vast majority, 70% of medical tests are false positive. In other words, it comes back and it says one thing, it actually means the opposite. Yet we put so much emphasis on, oh, my doctor's blood, you know, the blood test said this scan said that. When in their own medical journals, it's published that they're not accurate. Does that make sense? I hope you really hear that tonight. Comes back, and this is what happened with a dear friend of ours. We went in with her and holding her hand on the bed, and the doctor comes in and says, yep, we found it, we're going to cut it out, and we've already booked you in for chemo, and then probably radiation down the track after that. The girl's 25 years old. And we said, well, what did the test say? Oh, they haven't come back yet. Well, is it benign or is it malignant? In other words, is it cancerous or is it just some kind of growth? Well, we got to be safe.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's going anyway.
We're gonna put you on the chemo anyway. And we're like, what?
And then we said, well, where's the tumour? Oh, in the colon. So how much of the colon are you going to remove? Oh, over a third, but it's not important. You don't need to worry about that. And it's just like, this is literally what was happening in front of us. It's not important.
So really scary stuff. So anyway, we go in, get the surgery done, and come back. And what's the biggest question we want answered from the doctor? Did you get it? All. And they go, yep, we got it all. The person goes away. Well, they taught it all about changing their lifestyle. Zero, zip, zilch. Kate's grandma was in hospital for something different. It was, you explain.
She had a stent put in her arteries because they were clogged, and they were going around offering tea and coffee, and she said, actually, I don't want a tea, can I have something else? So, oh, do you want a glass of wine? Oh, that'd be lovely. So she's got an IV of drugs going in one arm, and she's drinking a glass of wine in the other. And it's just insane. And yet, you know, we actually had a girl working with us. She's a nutritionist. She was spending some time in actually quite a well-known hospital in Brisbane. Guess what the food, the dollar allowance per person per day is when it comes to food in a hospital? $1. $1. So you get that microwaved mash just full of crap food. And we're trying to create health and, you know, and get someone back on the road to health, and it's just crap.
So the person goes back to the same lifestyle that they were already doing. What do you think is going to come back? Again, multiple. Because your brain goes, well, you know, one garbage can didn't cut it last time. Let's put 2 or 3 or 4 all over the body to start accumulating this stuff. Your body has that innate and wisdom to do that. So cancer is really not a mystery, okay? And so as we unveil tonight, you're going to start to see, well, what are the different things physically, emotionally, chemically that you're doing that's adding toxicity to your body? Sounds good?